Thank you to my parents for driving me to practice and putting up with me when I'm in a bad mood and tired from swimming.
Thanks, guys, for making me go to practice.
Thank you, Mother and Father, for bringing me to swim every day and having to deal with my attitude all the time when I'm tired in the morning at 5 a.m. and I have to wake up to go to swim.
Thank you to my mom and dad for bringing me to practices and wasting and spending time on bringing me. And thank you for all the hard work.
Thank you, Mom and Dad. Love you.
I want to thank my parents for getting up at 4 in the morning during Black Week and driving me all the way to practice for only an hour and a half. And then driving me back to practice later. Actually driving me to Perth Amboy. Just being there and being my #1 supporters throughout everything. And always being by my side.
Thank you for driving me to practices and getting me food after practice.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys because you drive me to practice every day at like 4 in the morning and you give me food after practice and you help me when I'm tired. Thank you, Mom, for driving me to swim every single day and with putting up with my attitude. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, for like paying for all this and getting me to go swim practice every day. Especially when I was young and I didn't want to. Yeah, thanks a lot for that.
I'd like to thank my mom for driving me every single day, almost, and the cameraman for driving me too, Mr. Murphy.
All right, man. Get back in the pool.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dad and my mom, for bringing me here to the Sunkissed. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Thanks, Mom and Papa, and everybody who supported me along the way.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for getting me here and for all your hard work.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for everything you do.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for putting your time to drive me to practice.
Thanks, parents. Even though I did most of driving this year, which I see now it's a lot.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, for taking me everywhere and spending so much money on me.
Oh, thank you to my mother and my father for, driving me and sitting in the parking lot for 3 hours at a time.
Thank you to my parents for always driving me places and paying for the team.
I think to my parents because they have made a lot of effort to just be here since we moved and to get me to Sunkissed.
I want to thank my parents specifically though for all the times they forced me to go to practice when I didn't want to, because at the end I ended up feeling so much better after practice.
Thank you for taking me to practice every day.
Thank you, my mom and my dad. They support me all the time.
Thank you for driving me to practice.
Thank you to my mother and father for bringing me to practice and loving me and caring for me. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for always being super supportive and driving me everywhere to practices all the time between all the different teams that I really like.
And thanks to my parents for driving me to swim practice and caring for me.
Thank you. I really appreciate everything that you've done for me and the sacrifice that you made waking up early in the morning, driving me to practice, even when cars are broken, and just constantly supporting me and giving me the tools I need to succeed.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad.
Thank you to my mom and dad for driving me to practice all those years, feeding me, the bottomless pit, and just always supporting me and cheering me on at all my events.
Yeah, I want to thank my mom for all she does and all the sacrifices she made so I could be where I am today.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for bringing me to practices and dealing with my BS all the time.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my parents because they mean a lot to me, driving me to practice for the past few years. It's been crazy, feeding me so much all the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you to my parents for taking me to swim and dealing with all of that. Thank you to my mom and dad. You guys have done everything for me, so thank you for that.
Thank you for driving me everywhere and paying for everything.
I'd like to thank my mom and dad for driving me to swim a lot. The car rides home are very fun.
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for putting me in this team. I like it a lot better than my last swim team, and I really think I'm benefiting from it.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for always driving me to practice. Even though I know when you have a long work day, you still take time out of your day to drive me to practice, even though it's hard.
Thank you for driving me to swim every day and feeding me before practices.
Thanks for having to deal with driving me to swim practice every single day. I know it's a lot of work, but really appreciate it.
Thank you to my mom and dad for always driving me to practice and making me meals.
Thank my parents for sacrificing so much and doing so much for me and Joey and for the whole team. Everyone really appreciates it. So.
Thanks for my mom for, cooking me my picky eater meals. Thanks for driving me everywhere. Thanks, mom and dad drive me everywhere. So, thank you to them, and thank you for dealing with my attitude.
I thank my parents for bringing me to practice, especially the 5 a.m. practices in the morning. So thank you.